After splitting a 4-game series with the Diamondbacks, the Dodgers now turn their attention to another National League West foe. It's the Colorado Rockies coming to town in first place in the West, and these teams meeting for the second time this season. First road trip of the year for the Dodgers took them through Denver. The Rockies took 2 of 3 from the Dodgers. They struggled in a trip to San Diego, but the Rockies then taking 3 of 4 from San Francisco and coming in playing some good baseball. But coming into a ballpark where the Dodgers have beaten them 7 consecutive matchups. And with all that, we say welcome inside. Joe Davis with Oral Hershiser. Alana Rizzo joins us in just a moment. So the Dodgers at this point find themselves with a 7-7 record. Way too early, obviously, for too much concern. But I don't think it's too early to start thinking about a sense of urgency.
You want to beat up on the National League West. 1-2 against these Rockies. You sweep this 2-game homestand, all of a sudden you've got them in the right place. So I think a record of 3-2 against the Rockies coming out of these 2 games is right where the Dodgers want to be.
More on this roster, and there are always updates on it. We go down to Alana Rizzo.
And an update for you as far as a lineup is concerned. Jock Peterson in there against the 3rd southpaw already. Here it is on April 18th. It took him until July 27th, guys, before he faced his 3rd lefty. Dave Roberts was saying, you know what, he's competing. He's using the entire field. He's getting his shoulder in there. If he continues to put good at-bats together, he'll continue to get the opportunities. As far as the roster moves are concerned, well, they had to place left-hander Grant Dayton on the DL because of a left intercostal strain. And the corresponding move, guys, right-hander Josh Fields is back.
All right, back and forth he goes early on this season. Hyun-Jin Ryu takes it for the Dodgers tonight against the Rockies' young left-hander Kyle Freeland. We've got first pitch on the other side. Sportsnet LA is brought to you by Mazda. Driving matters. Austin Barnes back in there tonight doing the catching and making a kid's night at the same time, signing an autograph before game 1 of this series against the Rockies, whose starting lineup is presented by Honda. And looks like this with that man there, Charlie Blackmon at the top of it. Then it's DJ LeMahieu, the reigning batting champ in the National League. Nolan Arenado, perennial all-star. Then Carlos Gonzalez and Mark Reynolds. Trevor Story at short. Steven Cardullo's in left. And Dustin Garneau does the catching for Kyle Freeland. Hyun-Jin Ryu is 30 years old out of South Korea. 0-2 so far. His first start came actually at Colorado. Gave up a couple of runs. Didn't get any run support. Took the defeat. And then Thursday in Chicago, allowed 4 runs on 6 hits over 4 2/3. So the Dodgers looking for Ryu to find his groove here in his 3rd start.
This is about the comeback trail of Hyun-Jin Ryu. And when you think about Ryu, he hasn't given up a hit on his curveball. He hasn't given up a hit on his changeup. The league's only hitting 200 against his slider. It's about his fastball and his fastball command right now. That's given up an average of 440. And with that, Ryu needs to be a little bit more accurate with the fastball, but the off-speed stuff is excellent.
Charlie Blackmon climbs in. And Hyun-Jin Ryu is ready to go. Of course, all the discussion about that fastball has been about velocity. He averaged around 90 in his first start. But his last time out, it was 87 to 89. His first one of the day to Charlie Blackmon is a little bit low, and away we go. And so you think it's not as much the velocity with Ryu, it's the placement of that fastball.
I really do. We've seen guys that throw 100 miles an hour, and if it's near the middle of the plate, it gets hit. And we see guys that throw 83, 84 with good location, and that's enough velocity. So getting the ball off the barrel of the bat is the key, not always how hard you can throw it.
Falls behind Blackmon 2-0. And comes back home with the next one. On the ground foul, and it's 2-1.
Exceptional velocity gets you a bigger spray pattern to get away with, just like exceptional movement gives you a bigger spray pattern to get away with things. But when you know you're probably going to top out at 91, 92, and maybe your average fastball is even 88, hitting your spots with a little bit of movement, you can get the job done.
His 2-1. That's in there, and it's 2-2. Dave Roberts said before the game today he thinks that if Ryu's sequencing is good, meaning the sequencing of what pitches he chooses, then he can live at 87 and 88.
He's got a wide array of pitches, and he can change a little bit the breaks on all of them.
Blackmon bounces one inside the bag with Turner playing in the hole. Rolls all the way to the left field corner. And Charlie Blackmon starts this series with a double.
Second baseman number 9, DJ LeMahieu.
Ryu against Blackmon, left on left situation, and he just kind of excuse me swings, trying to protect that outside corner. He wasn't really trying to hit that ball fair or like place it down the line. That was an emergency swing. I'm fooled, and he caught a break.
It's been that kind of year for the Rockies. The numbers really outside of the bullpen did not paint a picture of the top team in the National League. Manager Bud Black, though, has his team at 9-5. It's tied with the Diamondbacks, who just left here, with the best mark in the NL through the first couple weeks. Here's LeMahieu. And there's ball 1. LeMahieu got off to a slow start this year. Really everybody at the top of this order did. They've started to heat up. 4 consecutive 2-hit games for LeMahieu as they took 3 of 4 in San Francisco. First time the Rockies had ever done that. 1-1.
You mentioned the numbers really don't match up with the Rockies' record. Thinking of records, 14 games into the season, they're in first place. It's happened 4 times over the last 7 seasons, but the highest they've finished is 3rd.
Barnes wants it in. Ryu gets it there, and it's jam foul. 1-2. Yeah, the Rockies have lost more games than any team in the National League over the last 6 years. That span you're talking about. So a start like this, where they're 9-5, hasn't guaranteed anything. Blackman at second to start the game. And Ryu to LeMahieu with a 1-2. That's ripped to third, and somehow Turner forehands it and throws across to get him. I have no idea how he got in front of that ball. I don't know if he knows either with that reaction.
There's two great third basemen in this game today. Nolan Arenado, who's stepping up to the plate, and Justin Turner, who's down there playing third for the Dodgers. They are threats from both sides, offense and defense.
And that brings us to our Land Rover Performance Spotlight. Two of the top third basemen in baseball squaring off in this series. Turner making that play. Arenado coming to the plate here. And Arenado, like LeMahieu, after a slow start, has heated up. 5 for his last 9 with 3 doubles and a homer. Turner's led the Dodgers most of the year with that batting average. There's strike one.
When we were in Colorado, Arenado had just hit his first home run. Now he's got 4. So you talk about heating up, not only average, but power.
There's a line drive to deep left center field, and Nolan Arenado has put the Rockies in front of the first with a 2-run shot. It is his 5th.
Midfielder number 5, Carlos Gonzalez.
5 and 10 man, 5 home runs, 10 RBIs. A fastball down on the inner half. He just drops the head and drives it. A very smooth swing, but a lot of power there. And Kike says there's not even a chance to deke him on that one.
So a 2-0 Rockies lead, and Ryu back to work against Carlos Gonzalez, who takes strike one. Much different results, but the same exit velocity on back-to-back batted balls. LeMahieu and Arenado both hit it at 105 miles per hour. That's in the dirt, and it's 1-1. Major league average for batted balls in the high 80s miles per hour.
These Rockies have hit left-handers well this year so far. You flip it, they haven't hit right-handers very well.
1-2.
As a team, they're in the low 200s against righties, but they're in the mid 200s against lefties. So they see left-handers very well.
Down the left field line, but foul. Good effort down there by ball girl Amy, who wears 88 on her jersey. And we saw her with another ball girl down around the dugout yesterday. And you joked with her, any idea why they gave you 88? And she said, no, it's close to my birth year, so I think they shoot for something like that. And you said, you have no idea why they gave you 88? And the other number was covered up on her friend. It looked like that may be an 88 as well, but it was 87. It was an 88
I sent her over to the World
Championship
Championship trophy. I said, you might want to go look at that trophy.
There you go. She's 87. Just a coincidence. 2-2 on Carlos Gonzalez. Back comes Ryu. And Gonzalez smacks it on the ground to Seager at short. 2 out.
First baseman number 12, Mark Reynolds.
Big difference between a starting pitcher and a reliever in these situations. When you give up 2 in your first inning as a reliever, you feel like this is a terrible, terrible outing. As a starter, you can rescue this by going 6-7 innings, and that's the only 2 you give up.
Speaking of rescue, that's what Mark Reynolds has done for the Rockies at first base. Their big offseason acquisition, Ian Desmond, was to play first, but broke his hand during spring training. That's ball one. Reynolds signed a minor league deal this offseason and only made the team because of Desmond's injury. He's been one of their best hitters over the first 2 weeks. Waits on a 1-0 and is out in front of an off-speed 1-1.
Always had a big swing. Number one problem is contact. Take a look at Desmond right there, looking on.
Getting close to a comeback. 2-1. I think by the end of April, Ian Desmond could be back in the lineup. What that means for Mark Reynolds, we'll see. This will be Desmond's first time playing first. Of course, initially a shortstop. Texas made him an outfielder last year. The Rockies planning on playing him at first. 2-2.
The Rockies have really enjoyed Desmond on the team, and even when he's been hurt, he's made an impact. The clubhouse chemistry with him, he is off the charts. A guy who talks baseball, encourages guys. Rockies have a lot of quiet stars, Nolan Arenado, the Charlie Blackmons, the Carlos Gonzalez, but Ian Desmond is a guy who talks baseball and is a little bit more over the top.
Full count. Hyun-Jin Ryu, a 22-pitch first inning at this point. Home with his 23rd, and he's walked Reynolds. A double, a homer, and now a walk, and up comes Trevor Story, who has written a much different one here in his second season. Had that historic start to his rookie year. 8 homers and 14 RBIs at this point a year ago, and you see the numbers now. For the second-year pro, out of Dallas, Texas. He swings at the first pitch and pops it up. And as Forsythe and Gonzalez come together, Story's now 1 for his last 26. Ryu gives up a 2-run bomb to Arenado, and the Dodgers in a 2-0 hole before they come to bat against Kyle Freeland. And their lineup, as always, brought to you by Honda. Logan Forsythe leads it off for Dave Roberts. And it's Corey Seager and Justin Turner, and as has become the norm against left-handed pitching, Puig hits cleanup. Hernandez earns himself a trip into the 5 spot with a home run last night. Gonzalez and Peterson both in there against a left-handed starter, whose name is Kyle Freeland. He's 23 years old, from Denver. And Dodger fans got a look at him in his major league debut when he held the Dodgers to a run over 6 innings at Colorado's home opener. But since then, in his one start, much different. 6 runs allowed on 8 hits and 3 walks. over just 4 2/3 against the mighty Padres.
Padres ambushed him, and he had trouble really establishing any secondary stuff. His cutter really abandoned him. So, young man's got a lot of different pitches he can go to, but if you lose 2 or 3 of them and all of a sudden you're backed into just the fastball, the hitters start eliminating them, and then they catch up to you.
2-0 on Forsythe. Logan knocked in a run yesterday, and the Dodgers 4-2 loss to the Diamondbacks, capping off a very disappointing series split for LA. 2-0. That's low. 3 balls and no strikes. So the 3rd major league start for Kyle Freeland. Only the 5th Colorado native ever to play for the Rockies. That's strike 1. Bud Black, the manager, called him into his office during spring training and told him the story of his own major league debut when he was pitching for Seattle. Came at Fenway Park. 3-1. Forsythe fouls it off, and it's 3-2. Black told him his most vivid memory of that first outing was that his knees were shaking almost uncontrollably atop the mound at Fenway. And then he said, "You know what, Kyle? You're going to make your debut at our home opener in your hometown." 3-2. Forsythe down the right field line, and we'll do it again. But he sure was steady that day.
He pounded the strike zone. The stadium only 13 miles from his high school, and this ticket list was abundant.
Freeland was born 1 month after the Rockies' first game as a franchise. It's a baby photo of him in a Rockies onesie that his parents sent out. He used to go on the field at Coors Field while he was in Little League. They'd have parades where the teams could walk around with their team flag. He did that several times. Grew up admiring Helton and Holiday and Walker. 3-2, and he's hit Logan Forsythe with what would have been ball 4 anyways. And some unnecessary pain for Logan, and it'll bring the training staff out.
Pulls this fastball down at Logan's puppies, and oh, right on the end. It's one thing on the instep, maybe on your heel, maybe even the ankle, but right on those toes, there's not any protection there. These are not your steel toe work boots.
No. Logan has had some tough luck in the last year getting hit by pitches. He missed a month while he was with the Rays last year after he fractured a shoulder blade on a fastball from Felix Hernandez. Fastball off the toe, no matter who it's from. That's no fun either. He's had foot problems in his career too, worth mentioning. Broke a bone in his foot in 2012, then dealt with plantar fasciitis the next year. Seems to be okay. We'll at least give it a try to stay in the game, and Corey Seager comes to bat. Corey trying to bounce back from a 4-strikeout game yesterday. Strike 1. It was only the second 4K game of his career, and the other one was the 14-inning game against Baltimore last July, so he had an extra few opportunities. Fastball caught the corner, and it's 0-2. Ball 1.
Or he strikes out 4 times the day before and you're still not worried about him the next day. That is giving people a lot of confidence very early in a career.
Strikes out to begin this one, chasing a slider. 1 gone here in the first. That's where teams have gone to get him with left-handed pitching.
There's so much power on the inner half of the plate when he stands up there that a lot of people try and get him to chase low and away.
And you could see it in his face midway through that swing that he knew that he shouldn't have committed, but it was too late to change his mind, and he's the first strikeout victim. Justin Turner was one of the only guys that had success against Freeland when these teams met up a few weeks ago. Had a couple of hits against him. And hits a big bounce at his short. Story to LeMahieu 1, and a tailor-made double play. Allows Kyle Freeland to face the minimum in the first, and the Rockies lead 2-0. Down Los Angeles. Rockies in front 2-0, and time for our Coors Light Cold Hard Fact. Dodgers have won 7 home games in a row against the Rockies. That's the second longest streak against the Rockies in franchise history. That first one, the 3rd game of that 9-game winning streak, was Clayton Kershaw's no-hitter. Joe Davis, Or Hershiser, Alana Rizzo. A gorgeous night with the temperatures again in the mid-60s as we get going. Hyun-Jin Ryu to Stephen Cardulo with strike 1. These teams have met exactly 400 times now since the Rockies franchise launched in the early 90s. 0-2. Dodgers 230 wins. Rockies 170. You know, the Dodgers-Giants all-time series, it's almost even.
Yeah.
That's up and in, 1-2. You know, 1,000 something, thousands of games, and it's within a few over the course of more than a century. And Ryu gets Cardulo with a changeup to open the second.
Ryu right now has the most successful changeup in the big leagues as far as strike percentage. Batting average against is right up there. It really has been his #1 pitch since he's come back.
Dustin Garneau bats. His lone home run this year came against Hyun-Jin Ryu off of the foul pole down the left field line at Coors Field. Speaking of the Giants, by the way, Dodgers will see their rivals for the first time starting on Monday next week. Strike one, again pulling the string.
A trip to go visit the Diamondbacks and then on to San Francisco this next road trip after these 2 home games. You're not going to get to see the Dodgers here in LA for a while. You should come out tomorrow and see the last game of the homestand.
With Kershaw pitching, 1 ball and 1 strike. He'll face Tyler Anderson. Yeah, with the 3-game series you mentioned against Arizona coming up next, that'll be 7 times in a 9-game stretch where the Dodgers will see the Diamondbacks. Strike 2.
And Clayton looking for a little bit of redemption against these Rockies. He knocked him around a little bit in Colorado. First time he's ever given up back-to-back home runs in that outing. He usually responds to difficulty in a significant way. I don't think you want to miss that one.
Ryu to the plate, 1-2, and Garneau down swinging as he pulled the string again and has done so for back-to-back Ks to start the second.
And why don't you worry about the fastball velocity? Because he has this changeup. That changeup makes 90 mile an hour look a lot faster than it is.
So now Kyle Freeland, who not only got his first career win in his debut against the Dodgers, but he got his first career hit. That's a strike. Said he decided to give that ball from his first hit to his dad, Don. Coached all his Little League teams growing up, particularly close relationship with him. Here's the 0-1. And he cracks it softly to second. Logan Forsythe putting a capper on a 1-2-3 second for Ryu. Yasiel Puig ready to lead off the bottom of this inning when you come back. At Dodger Stadium, May 3rd, when the Dodgers and Giants face off. Vin Scully will join the Ring of Honor. The first 40,000 fans receive a commemorative Vin Scully microphone, and we have it for you. A preview of it right here. This will be pretty heavy duty, right?
Yeah, it's very nice.
Must-have item for sure. And I suppose today could have been Vin Scully Day here. This is the anniversary of Vin's very first broadcast as one of the voices of the Dodgers, 1950. On April 18th, he did a game in Philadelphia. He was living in New Jersey with his parents, so he hopped on the train, took it right to downtown Philly, got in a cab, went to Shibe Park, and then called the 3rd and the 7th inning that day with Red Barber tossing it to him, and he said, "I'd like to introduce you to a young man that I hope you'll like."
And Don Newcombe started that game, but got knocked out in the 2nd inning, so Vin never got to say Don Newcombe's, call one of his pitches or anything.
Right.
Don't say that to rip on Don Newcomb. We love him.
Vince said the one thing that he remembers most about that day is that he was simply terrified. Finally reached that stage. So he didn't get to say Don Newcomb's name, but Roy Campanella singled to open that third inning. That's how Vince's career, his 67-year career, would begin. Yasiel Puig begins the second against Kyle Freeland and takes strike one. So Puig trying to turn things on against left-handed pitching. Most of his production has come against righties this year. Big bouncer up the middle. Behind the bag, it's Story twirling and throwing for the first out. You might say, well, the reason most of Puig's production has come against righties is because he's mostly faced righties. And yes, you do see more right-handed pitchers than lefties. But the Dodgers have seen more left-handed pitching than any team in baseball so far this year.
Teams are playing the trend. Until the Dodgers change that, they will see as many lefties as teams have.
So Puig the first out, and it's Kike Hernandez taking strike one. And the variance from the top to the bottom as far as how much teams have seen left-handers, it's kind of shocking. Here's the 0-1. It's low. Dodgers coming into the game, and I only give you this number to show you how far off it is from the bottom number, but 228 plate appearances against lefties. The Nationals, on the other hand, have had 28 plate appearances against left-handers. Freeland's 1-1. Hernandez pumps it foul, and it's 1-2. And like you said, part of that is teams lining up their rotation so they can maximize the number of left-handed starters the Dodgers have to see. Cubs did it, moving Lester back to start the first game of that series. The Rockies have done it to have back-to-back lefties going in this two-game set. A 1-2, 2-2.
It might start to get mental for the media because the topic continues to get covered, but it is not that way for the players. They're just going out to try and win a game.
Hernandez checks on Story, who's had a couple of plays here in the second. Dave Roberts giving Adrian Gonzalez a start against left-handed pitching tonight. He and Jock Peterson both in there. Came off the bench yesterday, had a pinch hit single. But with the left-handed starter Robbie Ray, Scott Van Slyke, or Rob Sagadin, started at first. Fouls back the first one, 0-1.
Rob got a base hit in his first at bat yesterday. Sitting there chatting with Alex Wood, who will take Rich Hill's place in the rotation.
There's the 0-1. 0-2.
The lineup construction with Adrian in there against the lefty, not getting a rest today. A lot of times, you know, that's all about really specific stuff of the opposing pitcher. How big's the breaking ball? Is it a curveball compared to a slider? What's the velocity range of the guy on the mound?
Outside, ball one. Freeland a pretty hard thrower by left-handed standards. Just touched 94 with that fastball. Best pitches is change. Here's his 1-2. That one's away. Gonzalez with a good take, and the count is even.
When they're in Colorado, Bud Black has pretty much taken Freeland's curveball away from him. He's mostly fastball change slider because of the atmosphere there. He doesn't want him to try and throw something. If he is allowed to throw it, he's instructed only to bounce it.
It's got to be tough, doesn't it, to have two entirely different arsenals based on where you're pitching?
Well, the one thing you do know as a starting pitcher after your last outing, you know where your next outing is probably going to be. So in your side work, you can prepare that pitch or those pitches for that particular outing. You will do that even in lineups. Say you were in the same sea level atmosphere of the next 2 or 3 starts. You can look at the lineup and say, you know what, I'm going to throw more changeups against this lineup. So you might grind on that pitch a little bit more in that practice session.
Shoots one through the left side, base hit. First Dodger hit of the day comes from Adrian Gonzalez to keep the second inning going.
Not only what pitches does this left-hander throw, but what percentage of pitches does he throw? And Freeland throws a lot of fastballs. Adrian, knowing that, even with 2 strikes, stays on fastball and drives it to left.
And it brings up Austin Barnes. Hit his first career home run in his last start on Jackie Robinson Day, Saturday. Takes ball 1. Nearby Riverside said he doesn't like to make too big of a deal out of it when he knows he's in the starting lineup, so he rarely will send a message to his parents to tip him off. Hey, you might want to hop in the car and come down. I'm in tonight. They're a little bit upset that he didn't shoot him a message Saturday, and they weren't in attendance for that first career home run. And as of about 4:30 today, he hadn't let him know that he was in there tonight. 1-1.
Does he have a real low data plan? He can't text him like in there.
Yeah. Remember the old track phones 15 years ago where you'd have a strict number of texts? That was the phone my parents broke me in on. I had like 30 texts a month. Better make them count. 2-1.
So that really cut into your dating life.
Sure did. Yeah.
If she wasn't sure and you had to keep sending texts to convince her, you'd be in trouble. Why didn't you get us a date for Saturday night? I didn't have enough data.
I was out of texts. Gonzalez at first with 2 gone, and a 2-1 is poked to second and caught by LeMahieu. Barnes hit it hard, but LeMahieu is waiting on it. Hyun-Jin Ryu back out there when you come back.
Look at the team's first ever statue unveiling on Jackie Robinson Day. Plus, go behind the scenes of the Dodgers cooking competition, judged by Aegon and Dave Roberts. Don't miss Backstage Dodgers, presented by Hand Cooked Tires, Thursday at 7 p.m. on Sportsnet LA.
Such a good show. They do incredible work. If you've never seen it, think Hard Knocks, the HBO special, which is obviously just training camp in the NFL. This is all season. Give you an inside look at your Dodgers. Top of the order against Hyun-Jin Ryu. Charlie Blackmon stabs at the first one. With the infield shifted around, and Turner is still playing straight up, still trying to lay it down. Strike one. Blackmon doubled to begin the game. Hit it off the end of the bat and snuck it just inside the bag, and eventually scored on Arenado's homer. Gently hit up along first. Could be a tough play though. Ryu flips it to Gonzalez, and they got him. A magic trick for out number one. What just happened?
Well, Adrian come get it and abandon the bag, so Ryu was in charge of chasing the ball down, and his only method of getting it to Adrian was to flip it up there with his glove backhand, and Adrian finds it with his bare hand against his chin, like he's about to play the ball as a violin. Got it.
His reaction would tell you he had no plans on there being a throw. What an athletic play by Hyun-Jin Ryu to get that ball in the air, and then Gonzalez using his chin. One out. On the scorecard, that looks like a simple 1-3 putout. DJ LeMahieu with the bases empty takes ball one. LeMahieu, born in Visalia, California. Bounced all over the place though growing up for his dad's job. From California to Las Vegas to Wisconsin to Michigan. Takes strike one. Played his college ball in Michigan, and that's where he now spends his off seasons. Used to train in Atlanta in the off season, but got married a couple of years ago. Wanted to be closer to his friends and family. Inside corner, 1-2, and talked his hitting coach from Atlanta into moving up to the Detroit suburbs to be with him there in the off season. His improvements, he says, correspond with when he began working in the off seasons with a guy named Casey Smith. That's foul. Smith, a former minor league hitter, now private hitting coach and a close friend of DJ's. Started working with him a few years back. LeMahieu was a .267 hitter, not bad, but far from the .348 mark that led the National League last year, the culmination of their work together. Ryu gets in on his hands, another foul ball.
Success gives you confidence in a coach, and then it's really hard to leave them, even if you have a big league hitting coach that you trust and enjoy. But there's just that guy maybe from your youth or an off season when you turn your career around that you have to go back to.
Pass Ryu, Seager behind the bag, 2 out. Nolan Arenado comes back up. We look back at his home run on the Cardinals game.
Fastball didn't make it inside, and Arenado made him pay. And he is really heating up coming into this series, and it looks like it's continuing right now.
Leads all hitters in RBIs over the last couple of years. Back in the ballpark where he hit his first career home run. Came off of Josh Wall back in 2013. That's to the back door for strike one. He grew up a Dodger fan. So how special the debut here. First 3 hits came here. Ryu's 0-1. Stays away this time. 1 ball and 1 strike.
See how fidgety he is in the box here as Ryu gets to deliver the ball to him. He's moving and shaking, trying to find that waggle that gets him in rhythm. It's the way he goes about all of his work. His infield work down there at third base, always in motion, always grooming the dirt.
Ryu deals 2-1. Arenado swings and misses. This time the changeup had him in front. 2-2.
I like changing the pace of the delivery on a guy like this. Almost like you freeze a base runner that's a stolen base threat at first, where you come set and you make him wait. So a guy like this is this fidgety. He gets into the box. Try and stay as long as you can to make him calm down.
Somehow gets the bat on this one down the right field line, and it's a fair ball. Puig over to get it, plays the carom, fires a bullet, not in time. Arenado has a double.
He just feels this one right out there, kind of like Charlie Blackmon did down the other line to Ryu to start the game. This one loops its way down there and finds its way off the wall. Lucky at the end of the play that Corey Seager didn't get hurt. He didn't realize that Logan could cut the ball because of the reach, and he actually stepped into the runner there. Got his foot caught a little bit, smiling over there and talking about it. Logan cuts it down, but Siegs is right there in the path.
Carlos Gonzalez now. Ryu starts him with a big curve. Strike 1. Ground out to short his first time. Offense has not been the thing with this Rockies unit. Third last in the National League, actually, in scoring. Swing and a miss, and it's 0-2. Neither is the defense necessarily, neither is the starting pitching. It's been all about the bullpen. And a little bit of luck for the Rockies. They sit at 9-5. The encouraging thing for them is that they figure this group will hit. They're not going to be averaging around 3 runs a game for long. Here's an 0-2 and a good stop from Barnes. Ball 1.
Ryu and the Dodgers want to shut him down right here. These 2-out RBIs can really break you. As we take a look at Austin Barnes' reflexes down there, covering all the holes up and blocking that ball nicely. Ryu gives up 2 in the first, but he's starting to get this outing in order and giving the offense time to climb back in here.
Gonzalez barely stays alive, still 1-2.
This thing gets greater for every run the later you get into the game, because it feels like it's farther and farther that you're forcing the offense to climb out of the hole.
Ryu trying to win his first game since August of 2014. Another 1-2 pitch, and that one's in the dirt. 2-2. Missed all of 2015 with a shoulder surgery. 1 start last year, but then elbow soreness, overcompensating for the shoulder, which still wasn't quite 100%. And was shut down and had elbow surgery in late September. He gets Gonzalez with an elevated fastball and is settled in after the 2-run homer in the first. is brought to you by the Ram 1500 Rebel. Experience the power and toughness of Ram at your local dealer. And by Jack in the Box. Try the Double Jack Combo for just $4.99. Only at Jack in the Box. April 18th, 1958. The very first game in Los Angeles. The LA Dodgers. And they beat San Francisco 6-5. Of course, at the Coliseum. Carl Erskine was the starting pitcher that day, and he said all he could think about was the first pitch in LA has to be a strike. Jock Peterson takes outside. Ball one from Kyle Freeland. And it was. He did fire a strike. And the Dodgers won that one 6-5. Lost their very first game as the LA Dodgers in San Francisco. But then once they returned home, got that win. Ball and a strike on Jock.
Usually the guy in the batter's box doesn't swing at those significant pitches opening a ballpark. And usually the umpire's strike zone's a little more liberal.
1-2.
But the same nerves that come over a fan that might get a chance to throw out a first pitch from the mound, or a celebrity, or today I think we had somebody from South Dakota.
Yes, Senator
from South Dakota was here. Those same nerves probably come over a big league pitcher if you've got to throw that significant first pitch.
Freeland home 1-2. Peterson takes a ball 2-2. Did you open any new parks as the starting pitcher?
I got crushed in Miami when Charlie Huff and I went toe-to-toe in the inaugural Miami game. That was I got killed. I'm throwing straight through my sinker, and Charlie's throwing that butterfly knuckleball up there, and he beat us pretty bad. But the very first pitch, not that I could think of. I surely didn't open Dodger Stadium.
No.
And didn't open the Jake in Cleveland or any of the places up in New York or San Francisco.
Jock Peterson leading off the Dodger third with a walk. Earning his start against a left-handed pitcher today, only the third time this year. One of the first two times was against Freeland. But Dave Roberts has liked his at-bat quality against the lefties that he's seen in limited action.
Well, you just watch the comfort in the box. You watch the pitches he swings at. You watch the ones that he takes. And if a majority of them are the right selection, quality of the bat is up, and you get another opportunity.
First Freeland walk. Likely bunt situation for Ryu. In front of the plate, that's a foul ball.
If it's on the plate, it's fair, but right there it is behind the plate. Definitely a foul ball.
Nowhere close. 1-1. Chris Woodward delivering the signs over at third. Appreciated him taking the time the pregame show today to visit with Alana and Nomar. Here's a 1-1. And he bunts this one nicely. Freeland's only play is the first, and Peterson moves into scoring position.
Important to get that bunt in the right direction with Nolan Arenado playing third and really creeping in, and his athletic ability to throw. Ryu perfectly executed that one, getting it towards first base and away from Arenado. Get the late break from Reynolds over there at first. Make the left-handed pitcher field the ball and keep the ball away from the catcher or the third baseman.
First sacrifice of the year for Ryu, and an opportunity for the Dodgers here in the third. And Scott Van Slyke will hit for Logan Forsythe. Should lead you to believe that hit by pitch, Logan's first time up there, is really giving him some fits. Got hit in the foot. And Slyke looks at ball one. So Dave Roberts will have some maneuvering to do.
I would think Kike Hernandez will come in and play second, and Van Slyke will go to left field. Kike will be getting a different glove.
Freeland pitches 1-0. It's outside 2-0. Kike's got to have like a bucket of gloves.
I don't know if he uses the same glove at shortstop and third base as he does at second. Usually the second base glove is a little bit smaller. And the outfield gloves are a little bit bigger and longer.
On 2-0. That catches the corner, 2-1. First opportunity for the Dodgers with a man in scoring position. Belongs to Scott Van Slyke. On 2-1, he pops one foul, and it's 2-2. And these situations, this isn't rocket science, but these have been the differentiators in a big way in wins versus losses this year. With an 0 for 6 yesterday with men in scoring position, the Dodgers are 2 for 37 in their losses with men in scoring position. Peterson at second and one gone. Here's Freeland to Van Slyke with a 2-2 after he looks Peterson back to the bag. Now the 2-2, and he fouls it off.
Scott is covering a lot of plate. Had a borderline 2-0 pitch away, called for a strike. Right there, was able to fight a ball off that was way inside off his hands. Trying to survive and hope Freeland makes a mistake.
Here's another 2-2. Outside, and the count's full. Peterson walked, advanced to second on Ryu's sacrifice. And now Scott Van Slyke takes ball 4. Called off of the bench. Nice plate appearance against Freeland. Turns into a walk. 2 on with 1 out.
You get a questionable strike call on the 2-0 pitch on the outside corner. Van Slyke does a great job here, not expanding his strike zone, but trusting the umpire, even though he disagreed with him on the 2-0 pitch.
And you see where that pitch finished on our Audi pitch cast. 2 on with 1 out, and Corey Seager comes up. Chased a slider for strike 3 his first time, and going back to yesterday has struck out in 5 consecutive ABs. Freeland delivers, and Seager swings and misses.
Corey gave his own reaction to that swing and miss. A lot of guys that have struck out in a row, they don't want to get the count to 2-0. Usually check them off as very aggressive in the next at bat.
Fouled off, 0-2. You
see Corey practice swinging, kind of swinging down right there. He's got a natural uppercut that brings his power in his swing, but when he gets a little big or gets a little collapsing on the backside, that uppercut can get him in trouble. The bat goes underneath the ball.
Outside, good take, ball 1. Peterson at second. Van Slyke at first, with the first 2 walks issued by Kyle Freeland in his 3 innings. He pushes off 1-2, and Seager strikes out again. 2 gone in the third.
Number 10, Justin.
It's a really good pitch. Trying to protect. Has to expand a little bit because the fastball way could be a strike, or the breaking ball or cutter out there could take it off the plate. That's what it did.
So it's up to Justin Turner. Grounded into a double play his first time. Ball 1. Turner hit another double last night. 8 of them now. That leads the National League. For a guy who's put up better numbers against the Rockies than any other team that he's played against. First year of a 4-year contract. 32-year-old waits with men at first and second on 1-0 and fouls it straight back 1-1. Signed that big contract just 3 years after the Mets cut him loose. And he signed a minor league deal with the Dodgers. This is only truly his second season as an undisputed starter right from the beginning. Even 2 years ago, Juan Uribe was the guy to begin the year. Two on, 2 out in the third, and a 2-0 game, and a 1-1 from Freeland to Turner. Whacked down the right field line, peeling foul. Strike 2. Dodgers only 1 hit against Freeland. It was a Gonzalez single back in the second. Trying to take advantage of the 2 walks here in the third. Freeland comes home 1-2, and that's high to even the count. '23-year-old in his 3rd career start. Facing Turner with Puig due next. Has one that he likes from Garneau. Comes ready. And is 2-2. Turner hits it off the end of the bat to LeMahieu at second, who feeds Story to finish the inning. The Dodgers strand 2, and the issues with men in scoring position continue. Park taking us behind the curtain.
Guys, new to Dodger Stadium this year and for a limited time, up on the executive club level is this awesome display case of jerseys worn by actual Dodger greats. These are the jerseys that they actually wore when they played. You have, of course, Don Newcomb, Tommy Lasorda. You have Campy, Duke Snider, which is awesome. Jackie Robinson, naturally one of my favorites. Of course, it goes along with this week of Jackie Robinson Day. Pee Wee Reese, his former teammate. Don Drysdale, Sandy Koufax, of course, and then Fernando Valenzuela. Also, 2 Cy Young Awards are in here. Fernando's is in here as well as Don Newcomb's. This is on loan from Gary Cypress. It's here for a limited time. If you have an opportunity, come to the executive club level and check it out.
All right, Alana, they've done such a great job in this park of capturing the franchise's history. Mark Reynolds looks at strike one from Ryu. Kike Hernandez, by the way, slides to second, as you presumed, Oral. Scott Van Slyke, after hitting for Logan Forsythe, is in left. Here's an 0-1, and he swings and misses 0-2.
The tours here at Dodger Stadium have gotten better and better as they've decorated it as a home. So much memorabilia and history. We come back from spring training every year. I'm excited to see what's the new stuff.
Because they're updating it all the time.
Yeah.
Got some of your hardware down the escalator.
I was missing something from my house. I didn't know how they got it.
1-2. Fastball hit past the mound. They had him positioned well, and Hernandez wastes no time getting his feet wet at second. Dave Roberts talking with trainer Nate Lucero. And I know Alana will dig up an update for us soon on Forsythe.
That was probably an update right there for the skipper. Most managers and coaches don't like to wait till after the game to get the update on a player they might have lost or was removed from a game. They want the immediate update. They start planning on tomorrow. They start planning on who they want to use today and get ready possibly if the guy's going to be out for a while. And the front office, of course, starts getting on that right away.
Ball one on Trevor's Story. What's this conversation?
Pitch really well tomorrow, big guy.
Good talk. See you out there. Story unloads a no doubt shot to left, and the Rockies lead 3-0. Trevor Story's second home run of the year. Colorado riding the long ball to this 3-0 advantage.
Trevor Story has struggled mightily early in this year. Front shoulder has been flying out, been swinging and missing a lot of pitches, but this does not miss his bat at all. Coming into this game hitting 114. That's his second home run and third RBI of the year.
And now Stephen Cardullo swings and misses at a change, strike one. It was one for his previous 26 before that long home run. Oh, 2. Cardullo having a hard time against Ryu's off speed. Story hit his ball even harder than Arenado hit his. Arenado's was 105 miles per hour off the bat. Story's 107. 1-2. Two balls, two strikes.
I had a 13-month absence from the big leagues because of shoulder reconstruction. And when you come back, at first you're just glad to be back. And the game's pretty fast and your nerves are slightly out of control and you don't feel like you're completely locked in. But slowly, one game after another, you start to get your feel back.
He gets Cardullo his fourth punch out, 2 gone in the fourth.
And you get to a point where you almost cross this mental barrier of, okay, health check, endurance check, pitches are starting to come together and getting a feel check. Now it's time to win games and really produce. And You can almost see that with Ryu out there on the mound, that at times he looks very much locked in, and other times it just kind of escapes him, and that's part of coming back when you've been gone for so long.
Dustin Garneau gets hit by the first one, and a 2-out base runner for Colorado. Let's go down to Alana.
Guys, Dustin Garneau is from San Pedro, California. When he was a kid, he would sit second level above the Dodgers dugout with cousins, basically between 1993 and 98. He was about 6 to 11 years old. He loved Mike Piazza. Of course, Mike Piazza was Rookie of the Year in 93, so he always wanted to be a catcher with the Dodger tie.
All right. Kyle Freeland taking a ball. Garneau getting some time at catcher because of one of the many injuries the Rockies have had to deal with. Tom Murphy was supposed to split time with Tony Walters, but Murphy injured during spring training, like Ian Desmond, like David Dahl. 2 balls and no strikes on Freeland. So the Rockies have gotten off to this National League best 9-5 start, and they've done it without 3 of their expected contributors in the lineup. They've done it with 3 relievers starting the year on the DL. They've done it without Chad Bettis, supposed to be the veteran of the rotation, and again battling cancer. And now John Gray, their ace, out for a month with a broken foot. 2-1. And they're not hitting, but somehow they're 9-5.
There's no worry ever that the Rockies are going to hit at home. They're always going to hit at home. Where they've struggled sometimes is hitting on the road, because those balls spin a little different at sea level and break more, so you're used to things hanging and being up. Then all of a sudden they're breaking sharp. But it looks like the bullpen is going to be outstanding.
It's been the worst bullpen in the majors the last 3 years by earned run average. But Greg Holland and Mike Dunn, 2 signings this offseason, have been really good for him back there. A curve gets Freeland to finish the Rockies off here in the 4th, but a long home run from Trevor Story has Ryu and the Dodgers in a 3-0 hole.
By Spectrum. Let's take a look at the Dodgers calendar. Tomorrow, the Dodgers finish up their 2-game set with the Rockies. You can see that game right here on KTLA and Sportsnet LA, as well as next Sunday's series finale in Arizona. Monday, the Dodgers head to San Francisco to face the rivals for 4. Spectrum Sportsnet LA is your place to catch the Dodgers 24/7. Get Spectrum TV. It's the best ticket in town.
Nice Rockies tie, John.
He's doing a schedule update, and he hadn't looked at the schedule on what color tie he's going to wear.
We love to give him a hard time because his mic is now cut and he can't reply. Trevor Story's solo homer follows Nolan Arenado's 2-run homer in the first, and it's 3-0 for the team in purple. Yasiel Puig to start the Dodger half of the fourth, middle third of the order against Kyle Freeland, who's allowed just an Adrian Gonzalez single. Puig grounded out to short his first time. Well, if you haven't gotten a chance, check out the piece that Puig wrote for MLB.com. Yasiel Puig, in his own words, really opened up. Takes a bouncer, ball one. He said, "It's time for me to be the wild horse again. Time to be the guy that earned that nickname from Vince Scully when he broke into the majors." Puig says his motivation is his young sons. The 1-0. And he lines one to center. Takes off on Blackman, but he hauls it in. Another well-struck ball for Puig, though. 1 out. So he has a 3-year-old son, Diego, has a new baby named Daniel. Talked to in that article about the passion and emotion that he shows on the field. He said it sometimes confuses people, but that's him recognizing that baseball is fun, and that's how he shows joy. Kike Hernandez bats with the bases clear. 1 gone in the fourth. And takes ball one. Puig wrote that being a pro has been a process and thanked Adrian Gonzalez for keeping him on track, keeping faith in him. He admitted there have been times where he probably didn't deserve that continued faith and help. Inside, 2-0. And Puig stated his personal goal this year of making the All-Star game, which is in Miami, his hometown, in the offseason. With a bigger goal, a World Series. 2-0. Ball 3. First time this year Hernandez has started back-to-back games. His first home run of the year yesterday. Back in there today with another left-hander on the hill. It's Kyle Freeland, and it's a 3-0. That's a strike.
Even when Kike starts, he's got to be nimble enough to know he might not be in that position for 9 innings. Of course, in the same position in the batting order, but today was in left field. Now it's second base.
Yeah, ball 4. Third walk issued by Freeland, and it comes with 1 gone.
Number 23, Adrian Gonzalez.
Gonzalez has the lone Dodger hit, and he sliced a base hit through the left side of the infield. Kyle Freeland right now, you don't blame him if he's thinking he wants to face the Dodgers all the time. His 3rd major league start. He's given up 1 run over 10 innings against the Dodgers. That's a strike on Gonzalez. His only other major league experience, he gave up 6 runs in 4 innings against San Diego. He delivers 0-1. And that's in to even the count on Gonzalez. Kike at first with 1 out. Garneau sets away, and a 1-1 pitch pops the mitt off the edge. 2-1. Saw the numbers a moment ago for Adrian in his career against the Rockies. That is a lot of games against one team because this man has played a lot of games. More than anybody over the last decade. Mostly in this division. 2-1. Bouncing ball over a leaping Reynolds and down the right field line. Hernandez easily first to third, and the Dodgers have them cornered in the 4th.
Adrian's had some fun things happen tonight. Ryu flipped him a ball with his glove. He caught it up around his cheek for a nice play, and this bounder gets him a base hit. Sometimes it just happens to go that way. You get a little luck.
Austin Barnes.
Got an update on Logan Forsythe as we go down to Alana.
Well, Joe and Oral, you guys were talking about the history of foot injuries for the second baseman. Fractured his left foot in spring training in 2012, plantar fasciitis in 2013. We just got an update from the Dodgers medical staff. He left the game with a right toe contusion, so basically a contusion on his right big toe. Not as bad as perhaps we would have thought.
Okay, appreciate the update, Alana. It's a nagging, not nagging, but tight hamstring that took him out of the game on Saturday. He's available to pinch hit the next day, and he's back into the lineup, but dealing with this bruised big toe. Austin Barnes and the Dodgers trying to get to Freeland in a 3-0 game here in the fourth. Kike's at third. Gonzalez at first. Has both Dodger hits in this one. Barnes hit it hard his first time, right at the second baseman LeMahieu. Strike one.
You said Austin Barnes' parents don't get a warning that he's in the lineup, but if they were listening or watching the game, they could be here by now.
Right.
Hour and a half in. It's only an hour drive.
That one cuts in as well, and it's 0-2. He said it can range anywhere from about 45 minutes to over an hour, depending on when they go from Riverside. It's a little bit closer down to Angel Stadium for him growing up. But he grew up a Dodger fan. A couple games a year they take in here. He's behind 0-2, and here comes Freeland. Fastball up, ball one.
A couple of young guys battling right here. Both are probably anxious to get the job done. Freeland only his third big league start. Austin Barnes makes his first opening day roster this year. Backing up Yasmani Grandal.
Swatted foul, will do it again. Dodgers again trying to break through in these situations. Rob Seguin stands in the on-deck circle, or stands in the pitcher's spot if it were to get that far. Here comes the 1-2, and that's ball two. Three runs on a pair of homers against Ryu so far. Arenado with a 2-run shot in the first. Story with a solo shot in the top of this inning. Now the 2-2 to Barnes. Check swing on strike three.
He swept this breaking ball right in there. He throws a cutter and a slider. If that's a cutter, it ends up a ball, but it's a slider, breaks bigger and gets it over the plate.
So it's up to Peterson. Freeland again trying to get himself out of a bit of a jam. Dodgers had first and second with one out last inning, couldn't score. Freeland struck out Seager, got Turner to ground out. And in this situation, first and third with one out, he K's Barnes and now Jock. Just misses the corner, ball one. Peterson walked his first time. It's a good sign against a left-handed pitcher. Only his third start against a lefty. Although in a very limited sample size, he's been good against left-handed pitching this year. He waits on a 1-0. Cues one off the end of the bat to third. Arenado bare hands, heaves a throw, not in time. Hernandez in to score. Peterson's hustle barely beats a heroic effort from Arenado.
And Arenado has lightning in his bat, showing his power tonight. And right here, he shows his tremendous athleticism. Barehanding this ball, doesn't get an outstanding grip on it, so the velocity of the throw is not very good. Looked like he threw a changeup over there, and I think he got it in the backside of his hand. Yeah, you see him trying to adjust the grip just in time to get it over there, but the speedy center fielder Peterson beats it out.
It's amazing he even got a throw off. Hyun-Jin Ryu pokes a base hit to right field. Station to station they go. Bases loaded. And they love it.
Ryu picking on the first pitch. He's always kind of a bail and wail. The front shoulder slides out. But boy, he gets the barrel in the zone and hits it firmly.
And so suddenly a golden opportunity for the Dodgers against Freeland in the fourth. And that bullpen starts to stir. Loaded up for Scott Van Slyke. First one. Ball one. Came in for Logan Forsythe, left the game with a toe injury, and walked in his first trip up there. Fastball is in, and it's 2-0.
Part of the development of a young pitcher is damage control. Freeland's rough outing against San Diego, he gave up a 4 spot and a 2 spot.
Ball 3 with nowhere to put Scott Van Slyke. Strike one.
Fans will get back into it on every pitch.
One of those early turning points in the game, potentially. Loaded up with 2 gone in the fourth, and a 3-1. Bounce to third. Arenado's got it, and the inning is over. The Dodgers do get one on an infield single from Peterson, and after 4, 3-1 Colorado. California Toyota dealers. Get incredible deals on a spacious new Sienna at Toyota's Leading the Way sales event. This dated 1964, Sandy Koufax threw his third career immaculate inning, which is when you strike out the side on the minimum, 9 pitches. Did it against Cincinnati. Only been 4 guys in baseball history that have done it more than once. Koufax the only guy to do it more than twice. He did it 3 times. Lefty Grove, Nolan Ryan, Randy Johnson, the others that have done it twice. You ever get close?
Not that I know of. Usually guys swung at the first pitch with me. I threw it right down the middle of movement.
4 Dodgers have done it. Koufax those 3 times. A guy named Pat Reagan in 1914. Dazzy Vance did it in 1924. And the most recent, Todd Worrell in 1995. Hyun-Jin Ryu back out there. He'll face the Colorado Order on its 3rd trip through. Down 3-1 on the strength of a pair of home runs. Arnado with a 2-run shot in the first. Story with a solo shot in the 4th.
Got a chance to see something like that, I think, from somebody like Clayton Kershaw this year. I'm surprised Clayton really hasn't done it yet, as dominant as he is.
Strike 1 on Blackman.
About the only thing he hasn't done.
It's happened more and more. Not surprisingly, the immaculate innings. Like every year for a decade in a row now. In 0-1. Up and away, 1 ball and 1 strike. The last guy to do it, a former Dodger, Juan Nicasio, had an immaculate inning for the Pirates. But it's no surprise that the occurrences are going up as strikeouts are going way up across baseball. That's in on Blackman, and it's 2-1. Strikeout rate has gone up 11 consecutive seasons.
Wow.
3-1.
Shows you how much guys have really kind of abandoned the 2-strike approach. And a lot more guys that probably get to 2 strikes a lot more often. They're trying to grind out counts.
On the ground is second. Hernandez throws out Blackman. Now apparently you did throw an immaculate inning.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, good.
Stu Mitchell, one of our coordinating producers at Spectrum Sportsnet LA, just sent us an email. The 29th in National League history.
Wow. I got that going for me.
So here's LeMahieu.
Oh yeah, let me tell you about that inning.
So you really, I mean, obviously don't remember it, or were you just being extra humble?
No, you know what? I don't remember a lot of my career. I was so in the present tense and moving on to the next thing.
Here's an 0-1. And strike 2 on LeMahieu.
You know, earlier in the game we talked about, you know, big games or first pitches in opening the Miami Marlins season against Charlie Huff, and I was reminded by Boyd, our stage manager, that Joe DiMaggio threw out the first pitch there. And I'm like, Boyd, I was warming up. I didn't really pay attention to the ceremony.
Ryu with his 6th punch out, 2 away in the 5th. You did it as a Giant, by the way, in 1998.
Oh, that doesn't count.
Right. That's why you had erased it from your memory.
Exactly.
Well done.
That does not count.
And you did it against the Rockies.
Wow. All right, it counts a little bit.
How about the batters you did it against?
Who?
Ellis Burks, Vinny Castilla, Todd Helton.
And I was old.
Ball 1 on Arenado.
That's 1998 then.
Already
we're
old?
Giant. Yeah. 1998. Wow. I was 40.
That's about as nice of an immaculate inning
that
as
might
you're
be
gonna get.
the oldest person to do an immaculate inning.
1-1. Huh, I wonder.
Check that out.
Yeah, they don't have ages listed next to the.
I wasn't 40 yet. I was probably. It wasn't in September 16th. It was earlier in September 16th. That's when I turned 40. So
it was a 1-1. Arenado drills another, hooking towards the foul pole and his second home run of the night. And so the Rockies take the run right back, his 6th of the season, and it's 4-1.
As much as I don't want to do it, but I love Morongo. Let's take a look at the Morongo Casino Resort and Spa slow-mo cam. Ryu and Austin Barnes trying to get in on him again and again. The fastball is left over the inner half. It doesn't get inside to the corner or close to his body. He's able to extend and keep the ball fair a long way.
Ryu now to Carlos Gonzalez, who takes ball 1. So all 4 runs coming off the long ball for the Rockies. 2 from Arenado and 1 from Story. You're getting into the part of the game where you have to start thinking about that Rockies bullpen, which in years past has been a pleasant thought for opponents. Not so much this year. The 1-0. Strike 1. On the ground is second. Kike waits and throws him out. Inning over. Arenado's second bomb of the game as Ryu behind 4-1. Dodgers purchase a 5-game weekend plan starting at $20 a ticket. How about this? If the Dodgers win all 5 games that you pick, you win 2 tickets to Fan Appreciation Day. You'll be recognized in a group photo on the field. Go to Dodgers.com/mini plans to learn more. 2, 3, and 4 for the Dodgers in a 4-1 game in the 5th. Joe, Orel, and Alana back at Dodger Stadium. Hyun-Jin Ryu has allowed 3 homers. Corey Seager leads off this inning against Kyle Freeland, who starts him with ball 1. 2 strikeouts tonight after only his second career 4-strikeout game last night. Here's a 1-0. Ball 2. Two and 1. Freeland has thrown 82 pitches now. He has 3 Ks. He's walked 3 and allowed the 1 run on 4 hits. He lets a 2-1 fly and misses with ball 3. Only 23 years old, only his 3rd major league start. His 3-1 to Seager is low, and Seager begins this inning with a walk.
Third baseman Justin Turner.
Up comes Turner. Really good athlete growing up, Kyle Freeland. Baseball, basketball, golfed as well. Ball 1 on Turner. You talked about how steady Freeland was, how unflappable he was, making the season opening start, home opener in his hometown. And then you read that he's a 3-time qualifier for the Golf State Championship. You can find some correlation there. Ball and a strike on Turner. Golf, such a mental game. Baseball, though, always his first love. And like we told you, grew up rooting for the Rockies. Kid that used to sleep with his glove. Seager aboard to open the 5th, and a ball and a strike on Justin Turner. It wasn't until partway through Freeland's college career, though, that he became a top-flight pitching prospect. In fact, out of high school, he was as much of an outfield prospect as he was a pitcher. Hit .631 as a high school senior. His 1-1. Drills Turner in the wrist. And 40-some thousand here at Dodger Stadium hold their breath.
Dodgers already lost Logan Forsythe to being hit on the foot. So many little bones and things that can chip and break, and the hand is, he's trying to recoil it, which takes some of the impact away, but it got him real good.
And you heard and saw him respond to Nate Lucero. Nate asked, "Where'd it get you?" And Turner said, "On top." First thing you think of when you see guys get hit there is, did it get him in the bottom of the hand, which is the hamate bone, where you see so many guys suffer injuries? So a silver lining at this point is that the answer to that question wasn't bottom of the hand. He's going to stay in. One of those things where we won't know for sure until tonight and tomorrow, when they no doubt get tests done on that hand and wrist. Bub Black comes out, and he'll go to the bullpen with the first 2 having reached, and Yasiel Puig due to bat, representing the tying run. Right-hander Scott Oberg comes into the game. Dodgers with a chance to climb back in as Freeland leaves to some upset Dodger fans. Day is finished for Freeland, and Scott Oberg comes in. He's allowed only 1 run this year, but it was to the Dodgers when they met up the first time.
He pitched on April 7th and April 9th against the Dodgers. The second outings when he gave up that run. But he's been a nice piece to this bullpen as this bullpen has got off to a very hot start. They are 3rd in the National League in ERA. The bullpen is at a 2.68. Dodgers on top at a 1.46.
They've been the worst bullpen in the majors 3 consecutive years. And obviously a tiny sample size. We're not even a 10th of the way into the season, but an encouraging start nonetheless for the Rockies in the back end of things. But a tough spot for Oberg to enter. 2 on and nobody out. Yasiel Puig represents the tying run. And takes strike 1. 0 for 2. Grounded out to short and crushed a ball on a line to center, but right at Charlie Blackmon. Can Puig solve the Dodger riddle with men in scoring position? That one backs up a touch. 1-1.
Oberg pretty much half fastball, half sliders against right-handed hitters. Abandons the slider a little bit against lefties, more of a 75-25% ratio.
Two and 1. Once again, Puig's patience has himself in a hitter's count. Seager at second and Turner at first, and nobody out in the 5th. Oberg back home. Puig couldn't check. 2-2.
3 takes and a check swing called for a strike. 2-2 count. You can still rescue and save this at bat. Or get a good pitch to hit.
Oberg to Puig with a 2-2. Golfed foul. Leading the team with 11 RBIs so far this year. Leading the team with 4 home runs. By far the best walk percentage of his career right now. Still a little bit early to be putting too much stock in those K percentage and walk percentage numbers, but worth noting. Runners take their leads, and another 2-2 will come after a look to second.
Since the All-Star break of last year, Yasiel Puig has brought a lot of excitement to Dodger Stadium. He's hitting .440 here at home since last All-Star break.
Fastball gets him swinging. Oberg turned it up to 97. 1 out.
Slowed him down with a bunch of sliders and then went back-to-back fastballs, one low and in, and now this one up the ladder.
So now he works against Kike Hernandez, who scored the Dodgers' lone run on an infield single from Jock Peterson last inning. Ball 1. Talked about Austin Barnes' first home run the other night. Kike claims that during batting practice earlier that afternoon, he called it. He said, "Austin, you're going to hit your first career home run tonight." And he did. Oberg's 1-0. That's up 2-0. And Kike missed it. He had ducked down into the tunnel to grab something and then heard the roar of the crowd. I said, "Okay, Nostradamus, what do you have for tonight?" And he said, how about a Dodger win? 2-0. 2-1. Scott Oberg, who in 2 seasons in the majors prior to this year had an earned run average above 5, has discovered something this year. His 2-1 delivery is high, and it's 3-1. On deck is Gonzalez in a 4-1 game in the 5th.
Kike's got plenty of power. You don't have to open up your swing right here. Don't try and do too much.
High fly ball, easily playable and right. Carlos Gonzalez, 2 gone. And Bob Black is going to make another move down to the pen to get a lefty to face Gonzalez. Dodgers have had 2 base runners at least in each of the last 3 innings, but only 1 run to show for it. Chris Russin comes in and will try and keep it that way.
Dodger baseball on KTLA. Let's take a look at the Dodgers calendar. Tomorrow, you can see the Dodgers and Rockies right here on KTLA and Sportsnet LA, as well as next Sunday's series finale in Arizona. Monday, the Dodgers will be in San Francisco to face the Giants for 4 games. Spectrum Sportsnet LA is your place to catch the Dodgers 24/7. Get Spectrum TV. It is the best ticket in town. Joe and Oral, back to you.
All right, John, Chris Russin comes in. By some measures a year ago, Russin was the Rockies' best pitcher. Started this season on the DL with a rib injury, but in 2 appearances, it's been solid. 1 earned run over 5 1/3. A left-handed pitcher brought on to face the left-handed hitting Adrian Gonzalez with 2 on and 2 out here in the 5th. First one is hacked foul, strike 1. Gonzalez decent numbers against Russin. 4 hits and 13 tries. The first 2 reached against Freeland. Seager walked. Turner was hit. They're still glued to first and second. Scott Oberg retiring both Puig and Hernandez, and now Russin facing Gonzalez and dealing 0-1. Shot foul, and it's 0-2. Adrian has 2 of the Dodgers' 4 hits tonight, a pair of singles. Didn't hit either one particularly hard, but hit them where they ain't.
Fastball, cutter, slider on the mound. Adrian will have to be disciplined that he doesn't chase the low and away slider.
Here comes. Bounced in there and smothered by Garneau.
Russin had to shake to get to that pitch, so he's definitely thinking he wants Adrian to chase.
Now the 1-2. Gonzalez pulls it on the ground to Reynolds at first, and the Dodgers again appear to be mounting something, then stall. First 2 reach, but nothing comes across. That a little bit lower down here in our broadcast booth, Joe and Oral, and 3 home runs against Hyun-Jin Ryu, but I think the bigger story is on the other side, where the Dodgers have stranded 8.
The runners in scoring position, even though Ryu's given up the 4 runs, he'll be the second longest outing of the homestand after Clayton Kershaw's 8 1/3. McCarthy went 5. Maeda went short. Hill went short. Rio out there building up the pitch count and trying to give the Dodgers another inning. The third hitter next inning, so this would probably be his last.
Mark Reynolds walking a ground out today. Here comes Ryu with the first one of the 6th, and Reynolds yanks a base hit to left. Add to your Dodger bobblehead collection. Saturday, April 29th. First 40,000 fans get a Corey Seager bobblehead commemorating his Rookie of the Year and Silver Slugger awards, courtesy of Spectrum. Go to Dodgers.com/promotions. A lot of good giveaways coming up. Gave away Dodger knit cap tonight, winter hat. Last couple nights, borderline cap weather, dipping down into the 50s. Trevor Story taking ball 1. Story hit a long home run his last time up. Had been 1 for his previous 26. 2 balls, no strikes. This for a guy who set a major league record last year with 7 home runs in his first 6 games. Broke a record previously shared by Larry Walker, Mike Schmidt, and Willie Mays. 2-1. This isn't entirely new for him, this rough start. A few years back in the minors in A-ball, he hit .233. And in 130 games, struck out 183 times. Fouled off, 2-2. So he went back when that season finished, studied old film of his swing from previous years when he felt better. Completely reset not just his swing, but his entire approach to the game. The way he was working, the way that he was going into at bats, what kind of strategy and plan he had. Swing and a miss, strike 3. That's still the biggest issue for him. The highest strikeout rate in the National League. He strikes out almost 40% of the time.
He's got a nice arc for hitting the ball a long way, but the bat is not on plane all the time, and a little bit of a big uppercut. Barrel drags and he misses the ball.
7 punch out for Ryu, 1 gone for Steven Cardullo. Ball 1. Cardullo spent a couple seasons in the Diamondbacks minor league system, just in rookie ball, and then was released. So went and played a few seasons of independent baseball. And the Rockies signed him, and he made his major league debut last year. Little dribbler up along first. Ryu's got it with nobody's home at first. Ball just hitting the perfectly wrong spot. And an infield single for Cardullo.
We see pop-ups drop in the short outfield, and it's like no man's land. Well, this is no man's land for a ground ball because it spins away from the line. So if Adrian goes and gets it, Kike's not going to get the first in time. Ryu is not going to be able to pick this up and beat him to the bag. And Adrian's wanting to stay at home, but that ball's just spinning off the end of the bat and creeps farther and farther away from both of them. Stays near the line. Adrian thinks about picking it up and tagging. But tremendous spin on this ball. Watch this thing curve. It's like a massé shot in billiards. Some interesting play over there at first base for Adrian tonight.
Sure has. Ryu made a kind of an acrobatic play on an in-between ball earlier in the game. Not this time, though. Ball one on Dustin Garneau. Rockies trying to add on here in the 6th as Ryu reaches 93 pitches and a light mist falls. Not much of a mist, and you can tell because nobody in their seats really seemed to even notice. 1-1. There's the giveaway tonight. Young man there on the right from Security Benefit. Two on with one out in the 6th, and Hyun-Jin Ryu to Garneau with a 1-1 that's cut on and missed, and it's 1-2. Pedro Baez begins to loosen for the Dodgers. Dave Roberts said before the game today he's available to go 2 innings if needed. Ryu downhill 1-2, and a fastball is left up 2-2. Even though Ryu's gotten knocked around for these 3 home runs, at least he's been able to get relatively deep into the game. 5 1/3 now, with the bullpen having thrown 15 innings over the last 3 days. Line to short. Seager's got it. Back to second for a double play. And Hyun-Jin Ryu able to complete 6 innings. Let's see if the offense can kick it in gear to bail out Ryu.
Guys, Jana Marie Smith, the Senior Vice President of Planning and Development, has done such a great job of bringing the old history of Dodger Stadium and the Dodgers team to Dodger Stadium itself. If you go up near the Vin Scully press box on the 5th level, you'll see these different travel trunks. There's about 20 travel trunks out here. Now, these trunks have traveled with the Brooklyn and Los Angeles Dodgers through time and space, carrying equipment and luggage from Ebbets Field in Brooklyn to spring training in Vero Beach and finally to Dodger Stadium right here in LA. Really an awesome sight.
Yeah, very cool. Austin Barnes leads off this inning against Russin and takes a strike. I just saw that for the first time over the weekend because we don't usually have a reason to go first base side of the press box, and it's just on the first base side. Barnes checks on Story at short. And one gone here in the 6th. I had a reason to go over there on Sunday and happened to walk by there. And it's so cool. You can just feel the history in this ballpark, and especially with exhibits like that.
Great clubhouse guys like Nobi Kawana and Dave Wright, who used to take care of us, and Mitch Poole, who's now on the visiting side. And I can remember sitting on those trunks with Vin Scully taping the pregame show. as they were always outside our locker room in the hallway going into the Dodger clubhouse. Ross Porter would come down and just plop down on a trunk. He'd come fish you out of the locker room, plop down on a trunk, and do the pregame show for the radio.
1-0 on Jock Peterson, who has reached both times tonight. Walked in the third and then had an infield single in the fourth that brought in the only Dodger run tonight. Strike one.
Some of those trunks just stays packed all year because they take the warm weather gear, the hot weather, the cold weather gear, and you might not open a trunk for a month and a half, and all of a sudden nobody needs all the heavy jackets, and he would be traveling around with it on every road trip. But if the weather turned, all of a sudden he's prepared.
Russin quick pitches his way to strike two. Former Cub. Bob Seguin on deck. And Hyun-Jin Ryu's spot. Looks like it'll be Baez for the seventh. Another quick pitch, full count. Russin from Kentucky. Born in Detroit, grew up in Kentucky. Or, beg your pardon, born in Detroit, went to Kentucky for college. Drafted out of there by the Cubs in the fourth round and made his major league debut a few years later. Was a starter for the Cubs in some of their worst seasons. Back and forth between the big league club and the minors in his time there. Peterson turns, and it's a fly ball to right that Gonzalez camps under for out number two. So 2 up and 2 down for Chris Russin. And Rob Seguin comes up.
Number 25, Rob Seguin.
Had a base hit in his first big league at bat of the season yesterday. That came on a very quick night of sleep. Strike one. Found out late Sunday night that he was going to the majors. In fact, he was getting around to go to bed when he saw the missed call from Dave Roberts. Oklahoma City was scheduled to play an early game the next morning, so he wanted to get a full night of sleep. Wound up getting far from it, but I think he was happy for it. 0-2. 5:45 flight he boarded in Memphis, Tennessee. Had his alarm set at 1:30 a.m. So what? That like 3 hours of sleep, and probably didn't sleep real well in those 3 hours. One and two.
I never sleep well on those real short nights because I'm always afraid the alarm's not going to wake me up.
One, two, three inning for Russin. And we go to the seventh with the Rockies in front 4-1. Nissan. Choose Nissan today for great offers on our most exciting lineup ever. Shop ChooseNissan.com. And by Carl's Jr., the breakfast burger served all day at Carl's Jr. Back in L.A. where the Dodgers trail the Rockies 4-1 on to the 7th inning, and Pedro Baez on for his 3rd appearance in the big leagues this season. 2 scoreless innings thus far.
Here at the ballpark early, came out and Pedro was doing his workout out in the outfield. I just kind of walked out there and we just chatted for a while. Just wanted to check in with him, and he's in really good spirits, feeling very good about his health and his endurance, and getting that early work in so that he would be rested and recovered for an outing like this.
Hard throwing righty out of the Dominican now faces Alexi Amarista, who bats for Kyle Freeland. Or in the pitcher's spot, or well beyond Kyle Freeland now. That's strike 1. By the way, combined no-hitter going for the Marlins right now. Wei-Yin Chen, 7 no-hit innings. Brad Ziegler pitched a 1-2-3-8. So 3 outs away from no-hitting Seattle. 0-2. Amarista down in short order. Baez sticking with a fastball for a K.
Pedro consciously working on being faster between pitches, having more confidence in pulling the trigger on whatever he sees from his catchers.
Guy that, of course, made the transition to the mound, facing a guy that made the transition from the mound to center field, and Charlie Blackmon. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Blackmon only played 1 year in the outfield at Georgia Tech. He's drafted twice as a pitcher, once by the Marlins, once by the Red Sox, but moved to the outfield because of nagging arm problems. Says he went to crazy extremes to try and fix those problems, find relief, but just couldn't. Waits on an 0-1 from Baez, and pops one off the end of the bat to left for Scott Van Slyke. 2 up, 2 down.
Second baseman number 9, DJ LeMahieu.
Rockies 4, Dodgers 1. 2 out in the 7th, and DJ LeMahieu to bat with the bases empty. Been plenty of talk about how tall Corey Seager is at short in this new age of shortstops who are much bigger. Well, LeMahieu at 6'4", plays second base, and he's the tallest full-time second baseman in Major League history. That one's inside, ball 1. Hall of Fame first baseman High Pockets Kelly. He was 6'4", but only played 1 year at second base with the New York Giants. 1-1 on LeMahieu back in the 1920s. Also played a year with Brooklyn, but again was primarily a first baseman. High Pockets Kelly. It's a good baseball name. 2-1.
We had a story about shoeless Joe Jackson the other day, because the big story on Rich Hill was blisters, and how shoeless Joe Jackson got his name is he was suffering from blisters on his feet and played the outfield without shoes because the shoes were killing his feet. So he became shoeless Joe Jackson.
I had never heard that before you told me the other day.
I had never heard it until one of the researchers gave it to me. But I asked for something really deep about blisters. That's what they came up with.
Here's the 3-1, and he walks LeMahieu.
Third baseman number 28, Nolan Arenado.
So now Baez faces Nolan Arenado, who has homered twice tonight. 2-run shot in the first and a solo shot in the fifth, both against Hyun-Jin Ryu. All 4 runs have come off of homers. The other one hit by Trevor Story. And it's our Arco top tier plays of the game, brought to you by Arco. Both of them, no doubt, shots.
They were blast, that's for sure. And you add Trevor Story's to that, and that's the first time in Hyun-Jin Ryu's big league career that he's ever given up 3 home runs in a game.
Started him backwards. Ball, strike 1. Number 1 in the National League in homers and RBIs over the last 2+ seasons. Corresponded with a change in approach. He went from thinking, like some guys do, hey, let's just battle here, to making his swing thought, crush the ball. Focused on sitting more on his back leg and unloading. And the numbers have shown it. Here comes an 0-1. He's behind a fastball. His helmet pops off at 97. You see some of the live stuff from Pedro Baez.
Right here, I'm going back to your comment about crush the ball. He's not holding back anything right there. He needs a chin strap for his helmet.
Baez looking for a scoreless 7th with really good tempo. And he's got it by striking out Arenado. Lived at 97 in that inning. It's stretch time at Dodger Stadium with the Rockies in front 4-1.
Better than ever, watch every out-of-market regular season game live on over 400 supported devices. Plus, get a free subscription to At-Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details.
Number 0, Adam Ottavino, on for the 8th time this year. He's given up just 1 run over 6 1/3. And with the right-hander down on the mound, Dave Roberts counters with Andrew Toles to lead off this inning. Top of the Dodger order, down 4-1 in the bottom of the 7th. Ottavino misses badly with his first one. Ottavino is the guy Toles hit that famous grand slam against last year at Coors Field. That one finds the zone, and it's 1-1. Greatest moment of his pro baseball career right here to cap a huge comeback in the 9th inning with the Dodgers down to their final out. What a moment it was. One of the great moments of the year. Ottavino's 1-1. Sweeps outside. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Flashback showed a fastball away that Toles hit. He's seen a lot of breaking balls so far in this at bat. Pitchers have memories like elephants.
On 2-1, Toles swings and misses. 2-2. And that's 4 consecutive sliders. Dodgers trailed that game 8-2. Came from behind to win it. Trying to come from behind tonight. Toles protects on another slider. Seager and Turner to follow here in the 7th. Ottavino's 2-2. Finally throws a fastball and pays the price. Toles turns around 97 to lead off the 7th with a single.
Ottavino's fastball doesn't have a lot of sink to it. It's got tailing action, but you watch Andrew Toles' bat come through the zone. It's on the same exact plane as that movement. A lot of barrel in the way of a tailing fastball.
Seager finally snapped a 6th consecutive at-bat run with strikeouts by walking his last time. Leadoff man on in the 7th, and Ottavino to Corey Seager. That's low, ball 1.
Getting somebody on has not been the Dodgers' problem. They've had somebody on all but 1 inning. It's getting them in that's been the problem.
8 stranded through the first 5. And they went 1, 2, 3 last inning. Seager ready for a 1-0. Here it comes. Line to center. Charlie Blackmon. 1 out. But encouraging signs from Seager. Snapping the run of strikeouts with a walk and now a hard hit ball.
This is very encouraging to see him coming back up to the plate with a bat in his hand. It's one thing to play defense with after you've been hit on the hand. It's another thing to say, I can still swing the bat.
Staring contest. See if you can beat him. We win. The Turner, plunked on the hand his last time up. Squares to bunt and takes a slider for ball 1. Does that lead you to believe that he maybe doesn't feel that great?
What? I sure don't like that. He's tried to bunt here this year maybe one other time, but Arenado's playing way deep. And he is trying to set the table because he is not the tying run. The one thing I don't see him doing so far as he climbs in the box or is holding the bat is kind of exercising and stretching the hand like he's feeling any pain.
The 1-0. That's up. 2 balls and no strikes. If Turner can reach, Puig would come up representing the tying run. Dodgers trying to come from behind to avoid their first 3-game losing streak of the season. After they open this homestand with back-to-back wins against Arizona, Diamondbacks bounce back by winning the last 2, and now the Rockies in front 4-1.
I think Justin has a pad on that left hand, though. See a little thin padding right where he got hit.
On 2-0. Slider cuts to the front door for strike 1. Dodgers' only run came in the 4th on an infield single from Jock Peterson. With a man at first and one gone in the 7th, Justin Turner takes strike 2 on the same pitch. Pitch looks like it's headed for his hip and winds up a strike.
Slider again.
Fouled off.
Okay, he swung the bat. He released the top hand, the right hand, and was able to hold the bat with the left hand, and he really doesn't look like he's wincing in pain. Guarantee it's got to be a little stiff.
Sure.
But the fact that he can have enough strength and stabilize the bat with that left hand is a very good sign.
Here's another 2-2, and he chases strike 3. That slider from Ottavino, deadly.
Outfielder number 66, Yasiel Puig.
And you have that big time arm speed, and then you can also spin the ball. You can make the ball break that big.
Been 15 combined strikeouts in this game now. One day after the Dodgers set a franchise record for number of strikeouts combined in a game. Fastball, strike 1 on Puig. Kind of went under the radar, at least under mine yesterday. There were 29 strikeouts in that game between the Dodgers and Diamondbacks. The most in franchise history in a 9-inning game. Ottavino deals 0-1. Another fastball to the outside corner, 0-2. So Ottavino's gotten ahead without showing him his slider. Sticks fastball, fouls back.
Yasiel a little frustrated right there. That's a fastball on the outer half of the plate up, and the way he's seeing the ball and swinging the bat, he felt like that was one he should have got.
Ottavino finally goes to the slider, and Puig hits it into short right for a base hit. Infield single, Yasiel Puig. And Kike Hernandez comes up representing the tying run.
This is a pitch that's usually Yasiel's Achilles heel, the slider low and away that he chases, but he reads it properly. It was one that he could reach, and it might have been a strike. He stays on it and gets enough bat on it to give himself a chance off the end of the bat, but still put it in play and found a base hit.
So again, multiple runners aboard for LA. Hernandez, who hit his first home run of the year last night, bats with Tolles at second and Puig at first. Tying run at the plate in the 7th, and here comes Ottavino. Slider backs him off the plate, ball 1. Now the 1-0. That's a strike, 1-1.
Only 2 pieces left on Dave Roberts' bench. There's Monty Grandal and Chase Utley. Still only in the 7th.
Another slider, tries to lay off, but can't, says first base umpire Quinn Wolcott. A huge call on the check swing. 1-2. Ottavino gets him with a slider, and the Dodgers strand 2 more. They've left 10 on base and trail 4-1 through 7. Mitch Haniger, the former Diamondback, breaks it up with a double against Kyle Bearclaw in the 9th inning. Still looks like Miami's going to win that one, but the combined no-hitter won't happen. Pedro Baez out there for his 2nd inning of work. He was impressive in his first. Striking out Nolan Arenado on the 97-mile-per-hour fastball. And now gets the middle third of the Rockies order. Andrew Toll stays in, plays left. Baez to Gonzalez. Fastball is up. It's 1-0. Two balls, no strikes. I think this might be the quickest we've seen Pedro work, though. Two and one.
Got the ball, goes directly 3 steps back to the rubber, puts his foot on there, looks in.
And gets a pop-up. Kike Hernandez at second for the first out of the 8th. So the Dodgers sit right now at 7-7. They were 8-6 at this point last year, and with how last year finished in the regular season, it's easy to forget where the team sat even midway through the year. They were just 1 game over 500 in the first half of June. They got to 10 games over a month later. That began the stretch without Clayton Kershaw. They were 15 over by mid-August, had taken over first place at that point. 20 over by mid-September, a season high 24 games over 500 by the end of September. That's strike one on Mark Reynolds. Point being, it's a long season. Rockies can tell you the same thing from the other side of the coin. 0-2 on Reynolds. You detailed earlier the hot starts they've gotten off to in the last 6 or 7 years, and they've had 6 consecutive seasons where they've been at least 11 games out of first.
The highest they've finished is 3rd place, even with 3 hot starts over the last 7 years. It is not time to panic. We are struggling with getting hits, runners in scoring position. The bullpen has been outstanding. The starting staff has been a little spotty and a little injury ridden. But after tonight, we'll only be 15 games into the year.
A 1-2. Reynolds fights it off to see another. There are a lot of teams that figured to be near the top of the divisions that are not right now. Even the Cubs entered today having lost 4 in a row since the series with the Dodgers. Cubs 6-7 coming into the day. Reynolds fouls one straight back, still 1-2. St. Louis is 4-9. The Giants 5-9.
But the Yankees are on a hot streak right now.
9-4.
Did they start out like 0-4 or 1-4?
Started out 1-4.
Won 8 in a row.
Toronto's 2-10. Reynolds goes up and gets that one, drags it to Turner for the second out. Then you have some teams near the top of the standings you never would have expected to see there. Minnesota's 7-6.
Wow.
In the American League Central, with Cleveland in last place there at 6-7 entering the day. The Reds 8-5. The Brewers 8-6, first and second in the Central.
We'll talk at All-Star break.
Yeah. Trevor Story. Swing and a miss, strike one at a 97-mile-per-hour fastball.
Yankees win streak broke tonight.
Okay.
They lost 4-1 to the White Sox.
Then 0-1. Up and in, 1 ball and 1 strike. And that's by no means telling any fan not to be upset about this start, because that's what makes fandom great. You ride the roller coaster with the team, the emotional roller coaster as the year goes on. That's in there, and it's 1-2.
It is nice to have Pedro Baez back out there on the mound. Just a lot of significant innings for the Dodgers last year.
And he strikes out Story. 98, his hardest pitch of the outing in 2 scoreless innings of relief. This one not over yet. 4-1 to the bottom of the 8th. Dodgers baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by BMW. See a Southern California BMW Center today for exceptional offers, or visit SoCalBMW.com. Rockies in front 4-1, courtesy 3 home runs, 2 of them from Nolan Arenado, 1 from Trevor Story. We march to the bottom of the 8th, back in Los Angeles. Joe Orl and Alana. And Mike Dunn in the game to pitch for Colorado. His 8th appearance of the season. 8th appearance in a Rockies uniform. He's been one of the 2 big pickups back there to help stabilize things. Reg Holland, who looms in the 9th, is the other.
Fastball slider getting to face Adrian Gonzalez. Boy, is he a really good pitcher. Some of these veterans that are not scared of the Colorado atmosphere, and they're not scared of the big moments.
His first one to Gonzalez is lifted in the air to left, sending Cardullo back a few steps for out number 1. So 1 pitch and 1 out for Dunn here in the 8th. That was one of the things that Dunn talked about. And when the Rockies started approaching him in free agency, one of the first questions that somebody asked him was, how do you feel about coming here to pitch at Coors Field? Are you scared of pitching at Coors Field? And he said, no, not at all. It's never been an issue for him. In his time with the Marlins mostly, also a few games with the Braves and the Yankees early in his career. But not one to be intimidated by that environment. 1 out, bases empty, and Austin Barnes. Ball 1.
Guys that are getting people out with pretty straight fastballs but have good velocity and small sliders are guys that will transfer good to that atmosphere, because they haven't been getting big leaguers out even at sea level with large amounts of movement. So if they can get people out with straight fastballs and with sliders, they don't need the heavy air to make their curveball or make their split finger go down or make their changeup have depth. I think that's what the Colorado Rockies need to look for when they're looking for pitchers. I don't think the fastball, sinker, curveball guy worked real well there. And the reason guys like that with less movement in both of their fastballs and the sliders can succeed is because they're usually pretty accurate.
Barnes has gotten ahead 2-1. And back comes Mike Dunn. That'll reach the seats and even the count up. Series continues tomorrow, and the guy going for the Dodgers they want, Clayton Kershaw, makes the start against Tyler Anderson, who's coming off a rough outing for Colorado. Same time, same place, 7:10, and you can watch on both Sportsnet LA and KTLA. And an off day, and the Dodgers hit the road for 3 in Arizona, 4 in San Francisco. 2-2, and the count's full on Barnes. Trying to get something going here in the 8th. Limited to just the 1 run. Barnes chops it foul. Held to 2 runs in yesterday's game. Staggering difference in the wins and in the losses. They're averaging close to 8 runs per game in the wins. They're averaging a touch over 1 run per game in the losses. Yasmani Grandal grabs a bat. Pitcher's spot coming up soon. The Dodgers get a base runner, then we'll likely see Grandal here in the 8th.
Well, the difference between the offense and the wins and the losses, when the Dodgers get 3 runs or more, they're 6-0.
The payoff, and Barnes hits a fly ball to left center field. And Blackman has it. 2 out. It'll take a little bit more than 3 tonight.
Center fielder, number 31.
They're down to their last handful of bullets in the opener against Colorado. I think tonight qualifies as a success for Jock's third start against a left-handed starter. Walked and singled home the only run. And 4 flying to right. Strike 1.
He might not hit for the same amount of power against lefties. He might not get as many hits against lefties, but if he can keep mixing in that walk and keep his on-base percentage at a place where he can contribute by being part of a rally, then he's going to get a lot more opportunities.
Peterson in the air to center, but playable for Blackman, and 3 flyouts in a quiet 8th. On to the 9th at Dodger Stadium. Maintaining a smile even in a 4-1 deficit. Came up on the last road trip and then came up today with Grand Dayton going on the disabled list with the intercostal strain. And Fields did, first of all, nothing to warrant the beginning of the year in AAA, and then nothing to warrant a send back down. It was simply a numbers crunch in both situations.
It really shows the depth of the Dodger pitching. I don't know how many guys have gotten sent back to the minors with a 0 ERA, but he might be one of the first.
Face the bottom part of the order for the Rockies and try to keep it a 4-1 game before the Dodgers will look to get to Greg Holland.
I think you're going to see guys go to the DL a little quicker and maybe even more transactions, not because they're not hurt, but when it was a 15-day DL, if a guy had an ache or a pain that might go away in a day or two, they would just wait it out. But now, with it only being 10 days, a lot of times I think you'll see guys say, you know what, I need a day or two for this, and manager will go, so you're hurt, really? Yeah, I really can't pitch today, but it'll be better in a day or two. And they'll go, well, we're going to DL you because we only lose you for 10.
Saw Logan Forsythe back in the dugout. Cardullo takes strike 2. Forsythe left the game after he was hit in the foot by a pitch to start the Dodger offensive night. Alana reported a bruised big toe on his right foot. Here comes Fields. Cardullo digs it out. He'll see another. 9-1-2 due for the Dodgers against Holland in the bottom of the 9th. And they'll either be Grandal or Utley.
I think when you come out of the game with a bruised big toe, you sound like you're kind of soft. So it's a contusion.
Okay, and you really got to kind of say it like that.
Yeah.
Top ball one after either Grandal or Utley. It's to the top and Tolles and Seager. Wants it up, and it's hit down the right field line and foul. Best wishes, by the way, to Bruce Bochy, manager of the San Francisco Giants. Underwent a minor heart procedure and is away from the team while they play in Kansas City this week. Procedure called an ablation. He's experiencing some discomfort as a result of an atrial flutter. Had a minor heart procedure a few years back as well. Barnes can't hold on. We'll do the 1-2 again. Ron Wotus, bench coach, managing those 2 games in Kansas City. And then Bochy expected to rejoin the Giants when they go to Denver this weekend. Giants 1-11 at Kansas City tonight, 2-1.
I know Boch manages the arch rival, but I'll tell you what, he's a fine gentleman, and we do wish him the best.
Cardullo turns it around to center, but it hangs up for Jock in the first out of the 9th.
Catcher number 13, Dustin Garneau.
There is something to a 1-2-3 inning to bring your offense into the 9th inning, trying to catch up in a good mood. This is an inning where you'd like it to be clean and quick and get them in there feeling pretty good that we got a chance. If it's a struggle, it feels like almost the game is over, even though you have 3 outs left on offense.
Garneau swings at the first pitch and hits it foul.
That was a big-time foundational pitch for Josh Fields right there, because with his velocity and his mechanics, he likes to work up the ladder, but if he can start down there on the lowest rung, low and away to righties, boy, does it set up the hole at bat.
Now fastball at the knees, 0-2.
Austin wanted a little higher, but he sure got the width right. It was low and right on the corner. I gotta believe he's not gonna miss down with this one.
It's 0-2, and he got him with a fastball at 97 above the letters. Garneau couldn't lay off it, and 2 gone in the 9th.
Blue Bayou.
Now Fields to face Gerardo Parra, who's making his first appearance in a week. He's away for the birth of his 2nd child. Been a nice bounce back year for him so far. He had the worst year of his career in his first year with the Rockies last year. Had his first disabled list stint. Bad ankle sprain in a collision with Trevor Story in the outfield. Missed 2 months. Can't lay off a sharp breaking ball. Strike 1. Parra, a guy that was once signed as a pitcher by Arizona. Had a fastball in the low 90s when he was a teenager coming up in Venezuela. Converted to outfield. He's a 2-time Gold Glover, largely because of that arm. One of the best in the league at outfield assists. Fields ahead of him 0-2. Barely got a piece. Josh Fields, a Georgia native, former Georgia Bulldog. 31 years old now. Came over in a trade from Houston at the deadline last year. Former first-round pick. He was taken 20th overall by the Mariners back in 2008. Went to Boston, then to Houston. Now the Dodgers. Ball one. He's one of the great pitchers in the country his final year at Georgia. SEC Pitcher of the Year as a senior. Was an All-American. National Stopper of the Year as the top bullpen arm. Parra barely stays alive again. 2008 draft where Fields went 20th overall. #1 pick that year, Tim Beckham of the Tampa Bay Rays, who is just now finally starting to get some more consistent playing time in the majors. Debuted a year ago. 3rd overall pick was Eric Hosmer. And then the 5th pick was Buster Posey. Parra down swinging, and Fields with a 1-2-3-9. See if the offense can make some magic. It'll be either Utley or Grandal, then it'll be Tolles, then it'll be Seager. And a 4-1 game. Sign an incentive-laden deal to pitch for the Rockies, and so far so good. 7 for 7 in save opportunities. He's given up just 2 hits.
He can strike people out too. You see the 9 strikeouts. Control has been solid with only the 3 walks. This is a big hill to climb as Chase Utley comes up to try and take the first step.
Chase trying to get his season going. Just 1 for 20 in the most limited role that he's had in his long major league career. '15th big league season. A 6-time All-Star. Signed a 1-year deal to come back with the Dodgers. Holland is ready. First pitch of the 9th. Turns the shoulder of Utley and catches the inside half, strike 1. Holland was part of those great Royals bullpens. 2-time All-Star for Kansas City during their back-to-back World Series runs. 1 ball and 1 strike. 47 saves in 2013. 46 saves in 2014, and then 32 saves before he was shut down late in 2015. Here's his 1-1. 2 balls, 1 strike. Top of the order coming up after Utley. The 2-1. That's low. 3 balls and a strike.
Get on any way you can. Hook or crook.
Utley starts the 9th with a walk. It's a start. And it's Andrew Tolles. Pinch hit in the 7th and singled to the opposite field. Adam Ottavino threw him 5 sliders in a row and then finally threw a fastball, and Tolles banged it to left. Here comes Holland. Ball 1.
You've got to have patience. You can't tie the game up with one swing here. You still need runners.
Corey Seager due next. Holland's 1-0 and Tolles takes a strike. A 24-year-old from Georgia. Couple of guys from the southeast. North Carolina native Greg Holland readies. The fires 1-1. Tolles hits a big bouncer to the hole at second. LeMahieu gets the sure thing at first. 1 out for Corey Seager.
Shortstop number 5, Corey Seager.
Well, you're in the right part of the order to try and make a comeback. You got Seager, Turner, and Puig. All of them can leave the yard. All of them can find the gaps.
And Seager, who struck out 6 consecutive times yesterday through the first 2 at-bats today, then walked, then struck it right off of the barrel but lined out to center. Here he bloops one into left center field. Parra comes on, slides, and makes the catch. Stu Sherwater with the call. Gerardo Parra, defensive sub for Steven Cardulo, comes in, and I don't know that he caught it.
No, that ball bounced. We're going to review that. He made a great catch like this in Colorado to shut a rally down, but this one he did not catch. Now, a lot of times you'll see that bounce, and they're checking to see did it hit the fingers of the glove, and that's why the ball was going up in the glove, but that one hit grass and came up into the webbing. I don't think this will take very long.
And so the Dodgers will bring the tying run to the plate in the 9th inning, assuming this gets overturned, in the form of Justin Turner. They just showed the replay on the video boards here. And they showed it one more time, slowed it down, and gave everybody a good look. By the way, did you see the AP report this morning that they are in serious talks about miking the umpires like in the NFL to be able to describe the outcome of the review to the stadium?
I think that'd be wonderful.
Agreed.
Best thing about this review right now, we think the Dodgers are going to get it their way, is Greg Holland's out there standing around.
All right. So a bloop single for Seager. And the Dodgers mounting something in the 9th inning against Greg Holland. And Justin Turner. Been so clutch over the years in Dodger blue. 2 on, 1 gone in the 9th. Holland's first one. Perfectly placed for strike 1. Turner back in the 5th was hit on the hand, and it is only AB since struck out. 0-1. Swing and a miss at a ball that bounces. No balls, 2 strikes. Characteristic of Turner.
Holland throws a lot of sliders to right-handed hitters. That first fastball away called for a strike that Justin wanted to talk about. Really made this at bat very, very tough. Now he knows he has to cover the outskirts of the strike zone out there, low and away.
After Turner, it's Puig. Turner in a tough spot, waiting on an 0-2. Holland went back to the slider, and it's shaped inside first and down the line. Utley's in to score. Up to second goes Seager. It's a 4-2 game, and the tying runs on base.
A walk, a bloop, and now just a flare. Justin trying to guard the outside corner, has to pull his hands in and just slice this ball past the diving Reynolds. And there is life here in Dodger Stadium. And there is life on the Dodger bench also.
So Turner with an RBI single. And as it often does, the spotlight finds Yasiel Puig. Strike 1. Now Yasmani Grandal on the on-deck circle. Swing and a drive to left center field. Back goes Parra at the track to make the catch. Seager back to second, and Puig just missed.
He hit it good. In a day game, this is probably gone, and during batting practice at 5 o'clock, it's gone, and Yasiel has hit him here, and this one leaves the yard usually, but it is still chilly here. 63 degrees right now here at the stadium, and that ball just doesn't carry quite as far.
So it's up to Grandal, who bats for Kike Hernandez. More power from this side of the plate with a switch hitting catcher with a tying run aboard here in the 9th inning. Holland delivers. Strike 1. Ball 1. First run that Greg Holland has allowed this year. Walk from Utley, singles from Seager and Turner. And now Holland ready for the 1-1 to Yasmani Grandal. Generous outside corner, 1-2.
That ball is outside. Yasiel, you're right.
So the Dodgers down to their final strike. 2 on and 2 out in the 9th inning. And Greg Holland to Grandal with a 1-2 pitch. Base hit to left. The line keeps moving. Seager heads for the plate. The throw's not in time, and it's 4-3.
hardest hit ball of the inning is Yasiel Puig's fly out. Everything else is finding holes. Yasmani finds the last one, hits it through the 6th hole. Corey Seager makes it home. Justin Turner has the tying run at second base.
That was a pretty close play.
It sure was.
Parra has a cannon in left and showed it off. Grandal with an RBI single. And Adrian Gonzalez bats with a tying run at second in the form of Justin Turner. Fastball, strike one. Dodgers trying to find a way, straining their way back here in the ninth. They've scratched across two. 2 on and 2 out, and an 0-1. Gonzalez bounces it to short, and Story takes it to the bag to put an end to the Dodgers' 9th inning rally. They get 2 but fall just short, and for the first time this year have dropped 3 in a row.
It hurts, but at least the offense showed some life, and they showed that they are not going to quit until the bitter end.
Our Lexus player of the game is Nolan Arenado with his 2 home runs. All 4 runs for the Rockies came off homers against Ryu. Arenado had a 2-run shot in the first. He also added a double, and then a solo homer in the 5th, sandwiched around a Trevor Story solo home run. So the Rockies with the best record in the National League at 10-5, and in the series finale tomorrow, Tyler Anderson goes for Colorado. Clayton Kershaw goes for the Dodgers. Stay tuned after the game for Access Sportsnet, brought to you by your Southern California Nissan dealers.